I was sleeping 8 hours a night. I was taking breaks. I was doing the things people say you're supposed to do when you're tired. And I was still exhausted every single day. I kept thinking something was physically wrong with me. I needed more sleep, I needed more rest, I needed a different routine, and I keep resting. I keep optimizing the rest, the sleep, and yet nothing changed. And then I realized I was not actually tired from not resting enough. I was actually tired from the things that rest couldn't fix. And those are very different things and with very different tiredness in you. Hi everyone, my name is Sherry and welcome back to my channel. And on Monday, I'll be posting about self-mastery. So in this video, I'll be talking about why you feel so drained all the time, and it's not a rest problem. So there's a research that actually talks about the 7 different types of rest, and the one that are most common, or the one that technically every single one of us know about, is the sleep, the physical rest, and that's just one of it. And the others are actually mental, emotional, social, and sensory rest. And most of us, that includes me, are chronically depleted in the others, that we are just focusing on the physical part. I'm gonna tell you what the rest of the rest is technically defined as. Emotional rest is actually not having to perform, not having how you come across, and also not having to hold your feelings for other people's comfort. And if you haven't watched my last video, my last Monday video, I actually talk about people pleasing. So this is also related to people pleasing. And this rest is actually what everyone is experiencing every single day, which is the mental rest. Mental rest is the rest that you don't have to make a decision, of not having to solve problems and not holding multiple thoughts. And social rest is the rest that comes from time alone, where you don't have to perform with other people when you're around other people. So if you're running a deficit in all of these other aspects of rest, then sleep won't actually fix it. You will still do all of that and still feel heavy, because actually the heaviness doesn't actually comes from the physicality of it or your body. It's actually coming from everything else that you overlooked. Now I'm gonna talk about the hidden drains. So if sleep isn't the answer, what is the thing that's actually draining you? And I actually had to name all of this down before I get to do anything with it, or I get to react with it. So the first one is actually, and I'm pretty sure all of us have experienced this before, which is the emotional labor in relationships. It's the type of relationship that you consistently show up for the other person more than that person does to you, where you hold their feelings, manage their reactions, and make yourself feel smaller for them to feel comfortable. And that kind of relating is exhaustion that you cannot find anywhere in a tracker. And I'm also gonna give example for this, and this is just my opinion, which is emotional labor often comes in toxic relationships. It doesn't have to be like a romantic relationship. It can also be friendship or family. So when you feel that you're actually drained when after you meet up with this person, you should figure out what is actually happening. And it's okay to try and meet these people or the people that you care about. It's fine, but do know your boundaries as well. And that's very, very important. The second one is actually chronic self-monitoring. And that is actually how you just can't relax when you're in certain settings, or you just keep thinking about how others will perceive you. You're technically always aware of like a lot of things, and you're always editing yourself, calculating, all that included. So as you keep doing that throughout a day, let's say, it's like a constant low level expenditure of energy that will add up over a day. So by the time you get home, by the time you're like in your own comfort zone, you just break down. And what I mean by breakdown is your energy is just off. And the third one is this one actually surprised me the most, because it's actually the unfinished emotional business. So the conversations you're dreading, and this is a very, very good example that I thought of, which is when you broke up in a relationship. I'm gonna use relationship as an example. When after you broke up with your partner, or well, your partner broke up with you, either way, and then it didn't end on good terms, and there's no closure. You're just dreading for that simple closure, or you have things that you actually want to say but it was left unsaid. And also it can be like decisions that you're actually avoiding. So all of these are running in your head like an open apps on your phone that you forgot to close. And imagine this, all the apps in the background that you forgot to close in your phone, it's actually draining your energy. So it applies the same thing to ourselves. And actually, the most tiring thing is not actually trying to do all the hard things. It's actually pretending that you're okay with the things that don't work for you anymore. I'm gonna get really, really personal right now, and I'm just gonna say out who I am as a person in this part, because I'm gonna tell you what actually drained me the most. It's not actually about like other people's feelings. Like I'm kind of selfless in a way, but I still care about how other people perceive me, and I still care about like other people's judgment. And I wouldn't even say that I'm not confident. I'm actually really like a confident person, but there are times where it's just different when it comes to people's perception of you. And yes, I know that sometimes you just shouldn't care about any of this because it's like their own opinions and stuff like that. But I'm pretty sure that in a way, sometimes, rarely now, I will still get affected by it. But the truth is, I feel so exhausted every time I think of it that way. That's why I'm trying not letting it bother me that much anymore. And another thing is the relationship dynamic that I keep telling myself I was fine. So I can, in a social setting, I would say I can read someone else's mood quite well. I can sense like a person's mood, a person's feeling, and I tend to react to it, and that is actually very draining. And I thought that I was just being considerate, careful, thoughtful, blah blah blah, but that was not actually the case. I was actually draining myself out. And of course, I'm not gonna end this video with just like the knowledge of it. I'm gonna tell you what actually helps as well, at least for me. The first thing that you should actually do at the end of the week is do like an honest audit of your week. Not like a tracker or like a habit tracker kind of thing, but of the interactions that you had throughout the week. This is when journaling comes to play a part in your life. So I'm gonna give you 3 prompts, and I'm gonna put it out in this video. So ask yourself with these 3 prompts. What moments this week left me feeling worse after than before? What interactions make me feel relief when they're finally over? What environments make me feel like I have to be a different version of myself? With those prompts, you can figure out what's your drain, but you don't have to fix all of them immediately. It takes time. You just have to stop pretending that it's not there. And pretending is also a form of exhaustion. And the second thing is actually giving yourself the type of rest that you need based on the drain that you name. If you're emotionally depleted, you don't actually need a nap or you don't need sleep. You just need time where you don't have to be anything with anyone, and that's pretty much just it. And if you're mentally depleted, you also don't need sleep. You actually need to be in a situation where you don't have to make decisions. Imagine this, you yourself have a business or you're working under someone which you need to make a decision for. That is when you're actually mentally depleted. Finally, if you're socially depleted, you need time alone. You don't need another social event to distract yourself. This is important for you to know and learn what you're actually running low on and rest that thing that you should rest. You are not failing on resting. You are not weak. You are not broken. You are just running on a thing that sleep doesn't fix. And nobody told you that this was possible, so you keep blaming yourself for the wrong thing, which you shouldn't even do that. The tiredness is telling you something, so sit with it and try to listen to your body or mentally or your emotions. And the kindest thing that you can actually do right now is start listening to what it has to say. So comment down below what's one thing in your week that always feel worse after. I read everything and I'll chat with you in the comments down below. So I'll see you on Friday for Fashion Friday, and if not, I'll see you next Monday for another self-mastery topic.